person they fell in love with. You're not the same person that you were when you met them or when they met you, when you entered each other's life. And I want you to know this message, it's not just a relationship. I know many people go straight to relationships. This could be a family connection, this could be a friendship, this could be a job. There's a connection in your life that there's been a shift of energy and connection with this energy because you've changed and they haven't changed with you. It makes me think of there's this interview that I saw with Mac Miller. Rest in peace. I've been feeling his energy a lot lately. And he was sharing how, as an artist, it's difficult at times because people love you for certain things. They fall in love with you for certain things. And as an artist, when you want to start evolving and changing, it's hard to change with your audience. Because most times your audience isn't shifting with you. Your audience is going to still be there in that place as you shift. And we see that with musicians. The only musicians that I will say successfully made the transitions and shift throughout their entire career would be Michael Jackson and Beyonce. Out of all the musicians, I wouldn't even Prince. I was never Prince's group of people, so maybe I can't really speak on his, but and I will say actually Whitney. Whitney went through the transitions of her life as well, even though hers was more of a sculpted reality. Later on in life, she was more authentic to herself, right? And so one thing you notice is that, for example, my channel, many people, most of the followers or subscribers here came as me doing tarot as a way of helping them connect with their ancestors, right? So me making a change and evolving of like, hey, my energy costs more than free. This takes a lot from me. So I'm only going to do this in an area where it's members who invest energy back with me, right? Of course, I lost a lot of subscribers when I stopped doing that, right? But that's fine. They fell in love with me by my giving energy and them not having to give anything back. But as I evolved and started requesting, hey, some reciprocity, those shifts started happening. You get what I'm saying? Because those who evolved with me, they're like, I'm good with the messages with the cards or not. You know what I'm saying? Because we're tapped into a frequency. Ooh, my hand itching. Yep. We're tapped into a frequency that is alike. You get what I'm saying? So you have something similar going like that in your life right now with a particular connection, person, situation, job, where the energy is just not the same as what it once was. The energy is not the same as what it once was. It used to be loving, fulfilling. They used to be all over your stuff. You know, used to be the best thing since sliced bread. They were all up around you, all up on your phone, all up in your text messages, all up in your comments. But then as you found yourself working on yourself and evolving to a certain, to a different space, your energy no longer aligned. I always like to say, because people are mirrors in our life, right? Pay attention to who's around when your energy is in particular places. So when your energy is in a upbeat, happy, good energy, pay attention to the energies that are naturally around you. 444 on the time. When your energy is in this like down, I don't know what's going on, this is hurting, this is bothering, pay attention to who's around then, because that's an indication to you of people's energies who are aligned with you. okay, who are aligned with you and where they align with you at. Because once you notice the energy where people align with you at, you realize, like, okay, okay, okay. It helps you better navigate the cycles and your connections around you. And this person or thing or space, it got used to, accustomed to you, who you were, what you did, how you made them feel, how you made them successful, how you benefited the space. Okay. They got used to that particular version of you. And as that version of you shifted and changed, it's like, well, who are you? Because they're no longer aligned with you and your frequency. So, what you need to understand is that as you keep evolving and growing and getting better, you're going to lose people, places, and things. And that's a difference between isolating yourself. Because the difference is that it's kind of like, what energy doesn't die. So whatever you lose, you're going to gain it back in another way. So you lose a friend, you gain a friend. Okay. It makes me think of, I've gained a friend since I've been doing aerial. And yesterday, was it yesterday? One of the dang on days, yesterday, day before, I was at open gym and she had Silk's class. And so, we be cheering on each other, back and forth. And so I was working on some new moves and stuff. And she came over, she was like, friend, you done moved up a level on me. She said, you done got strong. She said, you, what is going on? And so, like, that's my texting buddy and stuff, right? Because we have this new interest of what we're working on, where we're evolving, what we're doing. We have a similar energy, right? And I think a lot of us were raised up in this space where we equate loyalty with time, where when are we going to learn that in reality in life, like, a lot of the people who hurt us are people that we've known the longest? You know, time has nothing to do with alignment. Time has nothing to do with loyalty. It has nothing to do with energy. And it's not to say, like, this is what I've come to learn. I don't go into connections now as much as I would love to. I don't go into connections now with this mindset of, like, this is my forever. This is my happily ever after. I go into it for the experience. And I know that if I'm showing up authentically, naturally, loyally, they are too. When the energy changes, it lets me know that they are no longer on the same frequency as me. Do you get what I'm saying? When the energy changes, it lets me know that our energy is no longer on the same vibration. So does that mean that I then start showing up extra harder and pushing and that? No, I don't. I just pull back and let it be and stay in my frequency, stay in my energy, stay in my high vibration. And that's what it means for us to control our energy. So this is giving a strong vibe. I'm not going to lie. This is someone who's used to you, like, being on more of like a toxic frequency, or place. Like, they're used to you being involved in the gossip. They're used to you crying over this not working. They're used to you focusing on this when you should be focusing on your money. Like, they're used to you being in a space or an energy that wasn't your highest frequency. And you've been shifting to your higher frequency. And as you've been shifting to a higher frequency, those around you who are not shifting with you, it's very telling. It's showing what's happening, what's going on. I remember I was having some relationship issues, right? And instead of, I realized my mistake in the sense of trying to control the energy of what was going on and pushing harder and complaining and all this other jazz is not going to do anything but push that person into that vibration and energy even more. So what should we do? You realize the energy has shifted. You pull back and realign with that energy without losing yourself, and keep working on and evolving yourself. So instead of putting more energy into that thing, you put more energy into yourself. You put more energy into evolving and growing yourself. That same relationship, when we had got back together in that vibration, we realized we were both going through a different level of ascension in a different space, that how we connect with each other just needed to shift with the changes that are going on in life, in our lives, everything around us. And in a lot of ways, it takes off a lot of, pressure and responsibility of things too. And that was a beautiful experience to have gone through, and to have as an example of aligned like connections and realigning with the energy, and realizing it takes two for that to happen. You can't do it with just one. One person can't want to make it work. It has to be both that want to see the shifts and make it work. So they had to be willing to give me other chances after whatever the case of what I did. And I had to be willing to give them other chances after the case of whatever they did. And I know we live in a world right now that it's very profitable to be talking about men or women. It's very profitable. And if I'm using this from this context, I strongly do believe that there are groups of healed individuals who understand connections in a way that are expansive. But I do feel that the number of people who are in that pocket is very small. But that's not the purpose of this conversation. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not the purpose of this conversation. The purpose of this conversation is the fact of you have a space around you or someone around you who, the reason why some things feel off is the fact that you're not the same person as who they knew. And they don't know how to adjust to this new you, because their frequency or their energy is not in the same alignment with this new energy that you're in. So like Mac Miller was talking about, like that's how a lot of artists fall off, because they start evolving faster than their audience, or they don't make a good connection with a new audience that aligns with their new energy. And so because of that, they're lost in the abyss in a lot of times. um I don't see the collective being in that space. I just see you being in a space now where you're able to see and accept and understand energy and shifts. Ooh, I'm getting sleepy. I need to take a nap. And shifts. Mastering detachment. Everything is not your responsibility. Not trying to, hold on to things forever. So focused on forever that we lose out on right now, and the energy of right now, the joy of right now, the excitement of right now, you know. And what you need to know is that as your energy shifts, so does like your environment and the places you go, the things that you do, like all of that shifts. So you have to be okay with Literally letting go. You can't cling too tight to things and people. You can't cling too tight to things and people. You have to be willing to release. You have to be willing to release. And the release is not always physical, material. It's sometimes our emotions, sometimes it's our mentality or our thoughts towards something that we need to allow to fall away in order to make space for new thoughts to come in or new understandings or new perceptions, you know. But that's the vibe, y'all. I was happy I got it off my chest. But I thank you all for being here. And as always, always be real, always be true. Don't be afraid to do what your higher self or your spirit team is calling for you to do. Period. And you know, another thing I want to add in, I love how those who are here on my channel still, you're the ones who are like really tapped in with your intuition, you know, or you're in like this strong intuition training and development to where you're able to put pieces and things together, right? On what they align with and connect with and what they mean. Because all you needed was just a little affirmation or confirmation. Just a thought. But that's the vibe, y'all. I appreciate you all for being here. I'm about to take a nap and then finish getting everything together for our class later on today. And so, as always, always be real, always be true. Don't be afraid to do what your higher self or your spirit team is calling for you to do. Period. I love you all, and I'll see you later. Bye.